If the logos at different points in the screen is bothering you, I'm really sorry. It's bothering me too, but that's not me. Like the jerseys are I don't know why. Woo! What a game. Seriously, I didn't watch it last night during the Frozen Frenzy because 11 p.m. start time for me, it wasn't gonna happen, especially with 2 young little kids, because that would mean me going to bed at like 2 in the morning, conceivably, because the game will end at like 1:30 and then like coming down from the high of that game, or just falling asleep during it, I guess. But the Vegas Golden Knights win 6-1 against Los Angeles Kings in our homecoming. Not the first game at home, but after the road trip. And that's exactly what we needed after that road trip, to be completely honest. It was fantastic from start to finish. We started Samsonov again, in back-to-back starts, even though like, he was really solid, but 2 of those, half the goals he allowed were not great, but we gave him the nod again today. And Bruce Cassidy said that the reason we did the goalie situation the way like that was because he wanted Aiden Hill to be playing in front of the head coaches, team coaches for Team Canada. Because that's a decision that you based your base your roster around. That makes total sense, right? Which, hey, good guys, Vegas Golden Knights, right? Hey, we don't treat our players like crap. We made a decision that affected our standings in the league based around having a single player play in front of head coaches. Fantastic stuff, right? We are the good guys in the league here. Back on track. Oh, thanks, Siri. No, I don't. The game starts and it looks similar to the last couple of games where the other team had more energy. And to be completely fair to the LA Kings, this is their 7th. Is this game 7? No, I don't think it's game 7 for them. Where is the standings at? That was their 7th game. And all of them have been on the road because they're making renovations to Staples Center. That's what I'm calling it. And so they haven't been able to play at home yet, which that's a really long beginning stint to start the season, constantly traveling. The fact that they're 3-2-2 coming out of that, hey, applause to them. And they had a couple of, Quentin Byfield was magnificent last night. His puck handling skills, especially for how big he is, which you heard that a lot on the broadcast. Fantastic stuff. I'm really excited to see what he can do in the league when it's not against the Vegas Golden Knights. But hockey fan first, Vegas Golden Knight fan, and then, yeah. Oh, other miscellaneous things before we get into the goals. Shea Theodore was out from an illness, which I'm not surprised that Shea Theodore hadn't, because anyone has an illness at this time. My kids are sick. That's also why I didn't want to stay up super late. Since my son started going to school, it's been, yeah, like virus central. But I'm surprised more people didn't have to sit out, if I'm being honest. But that didn't mean that Caden Korzak comes in. And yay, I'm happy for that kid. He is definitely shown signs of greatness in the league, and I am looking forward to him being a mainstay on our D-core. But that also means that we have to trade out someone on the right side, which isn't going to be Petro. It's not going to be Theo. I mean, we had Hannafin on the right side to start the season and swapped Hannafin and Theodore, but then we swapped them back. So now Hannafin's with Petro again, McNabb with Theodore, but now Theodore was out, and so we put Korzak in, and then Hagen Whitecloud. Our D-core has been relatively similar the last 3 years. But Korzak tonight, and still Schwint and Olofsson is out still, so Brisson. And I'm gonna, Korzak was okay tonight. I didn't really notice him, but I also didn't think he hindered us at all. So that was great. Good job, Korzak. Despite the fact that the Kings outplayed us for the first period. The Vegas Golden Knights get on the board first, second, and third. I'm not feeling great either, so I'm just going to blast through this. I'm going to remember to do that, right? I'm not just going to go on tangents about what I saw in the game. I watched the game this morning, speaking of tangents, instead of last night, and watching hockey at 9:30 in the morning, mwah, I love it. And I managed to prevent myself from seeing anything at my wife's advisement so that I was there for the game, and it was awesome, especially because we won 6-1, but it was great. Just great. Vegas Golden Knight power play has looked better than I ever remember seeing it in the franchise's history. It has been clicking, it's looked good, even when we haven't scored. The fact that we've been able to maintain the zone and have chances has been really, really solid. I've really enjoyed watching our power play. Our penalty kill, on the other hand, has been abysmal at sub 70% entering this game, but thankfully LA's power play was also in a rut, so we were able to boost that a little bit. 2 power play goals in these first 3. One from Tomas Hertl, who on the beginning of the power play had this play set up where it kind of came out of nowhere, which is why he could have not been completely ready for it. But he just whiffed on the puck, and you could see he was kicking himself all the way from there through the neutral zone and on his way back in. And thankfully, from his perspective, because I didn't really blame him because of how quick that play was, but especially with how the game turned out. If we had lost by 1, then that would have been a different story, but that's also another tangent, so moving on. He made sure that that didn't happen again in that same power play, and he buries a very similar looking chance that had a little bit more setup. We had LA scrambling out there, and Vegas's passing was just on point. It ended up on Hertl's stick in the back of the net, past, was it Kemper? Big save in Dave Riddick, who in 9 of his starts against the Vegas Golden Knights, in 6 of those games, including I think this last game, he's allowed 3 goals or more in each one of them. So yeah, meanwhile on the other end of the ice, Ilya Samsonov has been phenomenal against the Kings in like 4 games with like a .950 save percentage that I think went up after tonight. Tangents, but hey, stats from the game. That's why we're here, right? The feeling of the game, the stats from the game, that's fantastic. Game 7, awesome, and continuing to go on the power play. This time it was tipped from Hertl for his second of the night, except it was also tipped from Stone after Hertl tipped it. A double doink that ended up in the back of the net past Riddick to make it 2-0 Vegas Golden Knights. Eichel has 9 assists so far this year. He assisted on the Hertl goal. That's nuts. Oh man, I love our team. That first line has been clicking on all cylinders. Third goal of the first period, and only the last goal of the first period, scored by Pavel Dorofeyev, who has been having himself a year. Oh my goodness, I love this kid. Korzak, the secondary assist on that, so he got a point tonight in his season debut. That's right. So Pavel Dorofeyev just absorbs a hit in the neutral zone. It was pretty big too, but he's able to recollect himself, go towards the net, and in that time that it took him to get up from the hit, like he was only partially down, towards the net, Howden and then Hertl, who is right in front of the net. Again, Hertl's favorite place to play has been net front, and that's been fantastic to see. The puck is loose in front of the net, and Pavel Dorofeyev is able to find the rebound and bury it, and it kind of goes like off the post and out into Brant Clark and then back into the net. Which is terribly unfortunate for the Kings, but fantastic for the Golden Knights. And Pavel Dorofeyev, his 3rd of the season, and it's been a really strong start for him. I'd love to see him continue on this pace, and who knows, maybe win the Calder. When this happened, he was falling. This is the way that I interpreted it, and I have to admit that I am a little biased because I'm a Golden Knights fan, where he fell into Dave Riddick because he was trying to catch himself falling forward and landed on Riddick, which, you know, like Kings players are going to react the way that they did to that, but I really don't think he meant anything by it. He like reached out, was like, oh, I'm sorry, like, are you okay? And then got mauled by, I think it was Trevor Moore. And Edmondson was trying to get in, but he was like the second man in, and I don't understand how that wasn't a penalty, but also like, I don't know. All 3 of those goals happened in, okay, I guess like 5-6 minutes, but they seem to happen like back to back to back. And the thing is Vegas, other than the power plays, did not have any sustained offensive zone time, and yet they came out of the first period up 3-0. Fantastic stuff from us to be able to convert on the chances that we did have, and to be able to, you know, just seize those moments, carpe diem. The second period was different because for 5 minutes and 57 seconds in a row, we had a penalty kill. First, it was Petro for holding, and that call was interesting because it looked to me like the King player kind of grabbed his stick, which his stick was in there to begin with, so I didn't blame the ref for making the call at all. It was just cool. I like it. The players of today are so skilled at making calls happen and drawing penalties, and so that's a skill. That's great. Good for LA. And even though their power play has been unfortunate in the last 3 games after having a really hot one against Ottawa where everyone was hot except for the goalies. Vegas, whose penalty kill at a sub 70% entering this game, had a phenomenal 5 minute and 57 second kill because with 3 seconds left to go on that first power play for the Kings, Nick Hague went to stick lift Quentin Byfield, and in the process, not only slashed him, but then high sticked him, and it drew blood, and Byfield was okay, he would return to the game. He immediately went back to get his face checked out, which I would too. I'd also wear a cage because I'm not as manly as these guys, right? I don't have dental insurance, so hockey players have got to have like the best dental coverage, right? Yeah, but Shea Theodore got his tooth fixed. Have you seen Drew Doughty's mouth? Brent Burns, oh boy. And just a phenomenal kill from the Vegas Golden Knights to be able to go out of that and not allow anything. We had a fantastic clearing from Petro for like the last minute and a half, 2.5 minutes of that power play. But LA riding the momentum from that power play were able to convert at the very end. Warren Foegele gets a goal for them, and it was with less than a minute to go in the second period. The Vegas Golden Knights' first intermission poll was, did you have 3 points in the first period? The two options were, no, I'm not Tomas Hertl, and yes, because I'm Tomas Hertl. So the puck takes an interesting bounce off of the back boards out, and Samsonov was trying to cover it, so he went down to cover it, and in the process, he missed the puck, and Warren Foegele gets to it and just flips it over Samsonov to give the Kings their first goal of the night. The game also would have worked. I don't know why I corrected myself. Which the announcers had said during that power play for the Kings, if they're able to come out of this period 3-1, you're feeling good before the power play, and then the penalty kill happened, and they're like, but then it still ends the period 3-1, and it was just interesting. It was like, okay, gotta watch this game a little bit more closely now. Speaking of weird bounces off the stanchion or boards, on that end of the ice again, because we switched for the third period, obviously, and so Vegas creates a turnover in their offensive zone. Meanwhile, most of the Kings players are leaving, and they're just gone because they think it's going out, but it didn't. And off this turnover, Petro grabs the puck, and both Brisson and Holtz are driving to the net. Holtz back skating, and Brisson driving onto his forehand because he's left-hand and he could just, tap him. And so there were two options that Petro could have gone with, and I am really glad he went with Holtz here because it's Holtz's first of the being on the Vegas Golden Knights, and you could tell he was thrilled to finally get this goal. Petro passed it over to him. He was in the slot, and he just blasted it, one-timed it past Riddick to go into the back of the net. 4-1 Vegas Golden Knights. I said this was going to be quick. Fun must be always. Tomas Hertl scored again, his second of the night, his fourth point of the night. He had one heck of a night, and I really want to see more of this in the future from him. Where else would he be? In front of the net, and Petro sends it up. I just watched it, and it's already out of my head. Did it go off of Howden? I can just check who got the assist on that. No, it did not. But he finds the rebound from Petro, and he buries it. And it's 5-1 Vegas, and then right after, Vegas' first line, doing their first line things. And I continue to say that they are the hottest line in hockey and helped us, be where we're at. And it's Eichel, Stone, Barbashev. Just a mad scramble in front of the net. Vegas continuing to maintain possession of the puck, passing it around like it's nobody's business, finding each other like it's nobody's business, because it was definitely not the Kings' business tonight. But Stone with the puck, he's left all alone and has a little bit of time, passes it back into the slot for Barbashev, who just taps it past Riddick. He had no chance. It's 6-1 Vegas. And just a really, really, really good game for Vegas, and you love to see it, especially after losing 3 games in a row. Barbashev's team leading 5th of the season. Ivan Barbashev is leading the Vegas Golden Knights in goals so far, and he's had 5 in 7 games. Our next game is on Thursday. Thursday? Friday? Saturday? Sunday? Monday? On Friday, and it's a back-to-back at home against the Ottawa Senators, who are actually doing really well to start the season, and the San Jose Sharks, who are very much not. Macklin Celebrini is out for them, and so, that obviously is going to be a huge impact for them, and partially why I think Dorofeev can still win the Calder this year. Ilya Samsonov had a fantastic night. Unbelievable night for him. He was solid. He made it look relatively easy for the most part too. There are a couple of things that I saw about his game that are a little concerning to me, but I don't want to complain about it right now because of how fantastic of a win that is. And I'm just gonna roll with that and great stuff. The Kings were on the 7th game of their homes of an away stretch, but just celebrate the wins, and Tomas Hertl, fun must be always. That's gonna be it for Game 7's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night. Don't get sick, y'all.